Everyone knows that the US relationship with China is not good. Nowadays, it is predictable that the US cannot win a war with China. Join us in knowing the reason why. As the Pentagon battles to keep its forces armed against prospective threats from China and Russia, the US military might not be able to win one war, let alone two. The military has grown weak relative to the force needed to defend national interests on the global stage as a result of years of underfunding and poorly defined priorities. There is a significant chance that the current US military force won't be able to handle even one serious regional conflict. The force is undoubtedly unprepared to manage two almost simultaneous situations and would most likely be unable to do more. While China continues to act aggressively in the Pacific and Russia continues to wage war on Ukraine, the likelihood of two-front combat has increased. The overall military posture of the United States can only be described as weak. According to the think tank's evaluation of force capacity, capability, and readiness, only the Marine Corps is known to be the strong one among the various services. The Space Force, Navy, and Air Force all received weak ratings, with the Army receiving a marginal grade. The Army's ranking peaked at very weak. In general, the military services continue to place a high priority on readiness, and there's been some improvement in recent years. However, modern programs, particularly in shipbuilding, continue to suffer as resources are devoted to future planning, recovery from 20 years of operations, and compensating for inflation. The particular problem with that is that if you look at our priority theater, the Indo-Pacific, the two priority services are the Navy and the Air Force, and those seem to be the ones that are doing the worst. The Marine Corps was the only service rated as strong by the Index of U.S. Military Strength. The U.S. must be prepared to spend money on military gear, such as ships, missiles, and other weapons, in order to equip the force with the tools necessary to prepare for potential warfare. According to the report, the Congress' intention was to increase the proposed budget by 5%, and this accounts for barely half of the current rate of inflation, which is approaching 10%. And the administration of Joe Biden's proposed defense budget for the fiscal year 2023 falls short of what the services need to regain readiness and to replace outdated equipment. Lack of manpower, equipment, and other resources make it difficult for the armed forces to fight a war. The Navy is given a lower capacity rating than its sister services in the study, going from marginal to very weak, which is the lowest rating possible. The emphasis of Joe Biden's administration on diplomacy and substituting soft power for hard power is a contributing factor to the problem. The U.S. military can improve by investing in military hardware, like ships and weaponry. As you look at the geopolitical environment, we're going to find ourselves in competition with China or Taiwan within the next few years if we continue down this path of naive disarmament. Gallagher based his timeline on that of former Navy Indo-Pacific Commander Phil Davidson, who told lawmakers last year that China could try to take control of Taiwan by 2027. A Chinese aircraft carrier took part in a military exercise in 2018. 460 Chinese ships are anticipated by 2030. Working your ships and crews harder than before causes maintenance issues to multiply, requiring extra work to be done when it finally enters the shipyard. There are now only 17 or 18 surface combatants left in the British Royal Navy. Nearly every year, if not even 2 years, China expands its fleet to the extent of the British Royal Navy. The heritage analysis reveals that the entire military must increase its spending on hard power in order to counter the looming threats from China and Russia that cannot be handled by the Navy alone. The lesson is that their weapons industry needs to be rebuilt. The Defense Production Act might be updated and used to real defense needs rather than infant formula. The men and women of their armed services defend critical U.S. national interests every day by supporting diplomacy, fending off aggression, preventing war, projecting power, and defending the American people. Thank you for watching this video. For more content, like and share our channel for more information.